A bigger and bigger ice cube every time now. So, if we look at the ice on the Earth, this shows a little different perspective. This is showing the sort of the North Pole. You can see Alaska here. This is Canada. So this is 1979 satellite image of ice cover in the Arctic. This is the Arctic. There's Greenland. And if you look and compare, if you look especially in this area here, you see that obviously the ice has been reduced. The ice caps, we call those, are much smaller than they once were. And again, that melting ice, that ice turns into water that runs into the oceans, adding to the volume of the oceans. This is showing a glacier. Glaciers cover land. And this is in 1928, a photograph. This is all ice, all the way back, all the way to these mountains and covering these mountains. The exact same perspective, take a picture taken in 2004, shows the exact same area. You can see the mountains in the background, they're all the same, but now look at the glacier. It has receded all the way up back into the mountains, and it's been replaced by a lake. So as this glacier retreats, not only does that water get added to the oceans, but it also destroys habitat for animals that rely on the ice, on plants and other species that have adapted to living in those tundra conditions. Well, pretty soon that ice is disappearing. That leads to major problems with the ecosystem. Check.
Is that what happened during the Ice Age?
Well, yeah, in the Ice Age, these glaciers have expanded well south of where they are now. In the Ice Age, they covered New York State and even farther south. Since then, they've receded. But since we've started adding carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, they've receded at an even greater rate. Now, Jackson asked about this earlier. So what about the sea level change? Well, here's the thing. I don't want to scare you to death, but this is like the extreme. If all of the ice, Maggie, if all of the ice on Earth, which means most of the ice on Earth is in the North Pole, the South Pole, Greenland, if all of that were to melt, which is possible if there are no changes into our carbon dioxide emissions, if all of that ice were changed to liquid water and went into the oceans, this shows you what the coastline would look like. Now, if you think about where people live, major areas of population are often located where?
South.
On the coast. On the coast where there's easy transportation, there's fish for food. That's where people tended to settle in the past, and that's where still there are large cities. Look at what's underwater. New Orleans, Memphis, Savannah, Miami, Richmond, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, parts of New York, Boston. All of those areas would be completely underwater. This would be the coastline of the United States if all of that ice were to melt. It's a possibility. That's not a guarantee. That's hundreds of years if nothing is done about climate change. But it is something that could happen. And obviously that's a major problem. Especially for nations that are island nations, places like Indonesia, where hundreds of millions of people live, but that is a nation of many, many islands. If they are inundated and flooded, that means all of those people are going to be looking for some place to live. All right, I'm going to skip this right now. All right, we have to finish this last. There's some cool video at the end I want you to see. Now this is in a little bit of a weird spot, because really, this side, it could go earlier in ecology. It doesn't belong with environmental issues we've been talking about, but we'll talk about it anyway. So tropism is an interesting thing. It's when plants grow in response to some stimulus. Like, I don't know, if you ever maybe notice this, if you, like in third grade, you brought your mom home a Mother's Day sunflower from school. If you put it in the windowsill, how does it grow?
Towards the sun.
Yeah, it grows toward the sun, toward the window. That's a tropism. The plant grows in response to a stimulus. In that case, the stimulus is what?
Sun.
The light. That's called phototropism. I know you guys have an extra column, just ignore it. Yeah.
We crossed out.
What do you think hydrotropism is?
Water.
Yeah, it's growth of roots, usually toward water. Yes, chemotropism is response to chemicals. Plants sometimes can grow towards certain minerals or away from certain chemicals.
Heat.
Thermo is heat. Yeah, next one's easy.
Gravity.
Gravity. If you take a plant, if you go to, let's say, the plant store, you buy a small tomato plant. You put it in a big pot, but you plant it upside down. So the roots are, and then you bury the whole thing. The roots are on the top and then the plant's down here. If you wait a week or so, what's going to be popping through the soil? The plant, not the roots aren't going to grow up. The plant is going to grow. No, girl, see you later. Go to your
Wait, will you unlock the tech door for us?
I can't.
No,
No, I don't. Go.
Can we call him?
No. So the plant will actually grow up against gravity. That's what happens. They respond to gravity. Plants, the leaves and shoots will grow up. The roots will grow down. The last one, thigmotropism, is a response to touch.
Isn't there like a plant that
Yeah, it's called a sensitive plant. So a Venus flytrap would be an example of what?
I'm sensitive.
Thigmotropism.
Yeah.
How about this one? Photo. It's growing toward the light. This one?
Gravity.
No, it's latching on to something.
Gravity.
Thigmo.
One.
This one? That's gravity. Got a couple of videos.
How is that gravity?
Because if you put a plant sideways, it will start growing up against gravity.
Are you serious? That's so cool.
Yeah. All right, here's some videos. These are all time-lapse videos taken over a long period, all condensed. This shows what type of tropism.
Gravity.
Yeah. You can see this coleus plant is growing up
Weird.
against the force of gravity.
That's so cool. It looks
This one is,
touch.
no, that's a flame.
Oh, it's a flame? That would be thermal.
Thermotropism. So it curls up like that when it's exposed. Yes. This one,
Touch.
we're going to watch a little video clip about Venus flytraps.
I want to grab
That's a good question. You'll learn the answer in about 2 minutes.
There's little hairs on it.
There are little hairs, but isn't this person touching them?
Yeah, but it's not inside. It can only like dead.
No, he's breathing.
It slowly does. Has to touch the middle.
It's on a timer. If something touches 2 of the hairs within 20 seconds, that triggers the closure. So it can touch one, but then if it touches another within 20 seconds, that's what triggers
So
the...
you touch the inside part and not get like trapped.
Yeah, because there's 3 little hairs on each side. This is what? Photo. Then when they turn on the light above, they start growing upward. This is a vine, and if you look at how a vine actually grows, it grows in this spiral pattern. Once it bumps into a support, it starts a thigmotropic response and starts to go up it.
There it goes.
What if it never lags down to some
It just sort of falls, droops.